Now, this is my opinion why the Bugatti Tourbillon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, sorry if I'm not, is the best Bugatti ever. And I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of the previous two Bugattis because of one thing, the design. The design seemed a little too tame for me for a hypercar. I mean, the engineering and all the power and everything, that's incredible. Nothing against that, but design wise, I personally feel like hypercars need to look a little more wow. And the Veyron and the Chiron, they seem a little too tame for a hypercar. They seem a little too rounded. But the new successor to the Chiron, and now that just looking at the pictures and the videos, it actually looks good. I mean, it's similar to Chiron, but they changed the design a bit and seems a little lower and a little longer. I don't know, just visuals or something, but now it looks good. It looks hypercarish in terms of looks. Now that's the first thing I had to say about the Bugatti Tourbillon. But now the second thing is the engine. Now obviously Bugattis were famous for their W16 engines. The first Veyron produced 1000 horsepower, the Chiron produced 1500 horsepower, and Special Edition produced 1600, whatever. But yeah, the engines were famous for all the power that they put out, and they had quad turbos and all that stuff. And now the new engine, I think honestly that's probably the best part of the Chiron successor, because this new engine they got on the 16, which is a little sad, but what they replaced with is even better, honestly, in my opinion. They put in a V16 engine. So basically, that's twice the size of a V8, twice the length of a V8 probably. And they put in a V16 engine, and they added a hybrid powertrain, because obviously you need to have a hybrid powertrain to meet the emissions and all that. Plus it helps with power. But the best part about it is it's a naturally aspirated V16. Now the previous W16 was turbocharged, quad turbocharged. Now the problem with turbocharged engines are they don't sound that great. The sound doesn't come through that much because of the way the turbochargers work. But this is a naturally aspirated engine, so you can expect a great sound coming from it. Now we haven't heard any sounds coming from it yet, but this is Bugatti. They don't mess around with anything. They pay attention to every single detail, and I'm pretty confident that it's gonna sound great. So basically the engine's a V16 engine with the hybrid powertrain, and to combined they put out 1800 horsepower. Now that's a good enough number. I mean, honestly, that's more than enough. It's not that much compared to the Chiron. More compared to Chiron's 300 more, but 1800, that's more than enough. No one's actually going to be able to use that power anywhere unless you're on a racetrack or something. So the naturally aspirated engine brings out 1000 horsepower, and the electric motors combined puts out 800 horsepower. And it has an EV only mode, so you can go quietly if you want, which is fantastic. But yeah, the engine really excites me, and obviously everything else about the car's top notch. I mean, they use AI to design the suspension apparently, so just so that there's no wastage in the suspension parts. There's no excess metal being used, which meant that even with the batteries and the motors added, they managed to keep the weight below the weight of the Chiron apparently, or as much as the Chiron. But yeah, that's a great news, and the car looks great. And the interior, there's a lot of work on the interior too. There's a lot of glass material and metal going on. I don't think there's any plastics in the car at all. And they changed the back lighting. It looks really nice. They added a central lighting that goes from the roof. They added one single wiper to act as a line to go through the roof. The design looks really good. It looks really sharp and edgy. Yeah. Now the only real complaint I have about it is the dials. I mean, they decided to go classic and timeless because digital screens age badly, and these cars are meant to exist for a long time. And I agree with that logic, but the analog dials they went with, they don't look that appealing to me. I know they went with the inspiration of a watch, the mechanics of a watch, and so the dials are designed similar to how the internal mechanics of a watch would work. But I don't know, they don't seem that appealing to me, especially when you're looking at it all the time. Now apparently it's not the final version, so maybe there's some changes, maybe the color of the metal change or something and makes look more better, but right now my only problem is the dials, which is probably a small thing, I guess. Now all of this is going to be a fantastic car. Now whether it will be able to break world records or not, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's probably going to break the speed record again, the one that Chiron said, because same company. So yeah, that's probably a special edition that comes out later that does 300 plus again. I mean, they already done it once, why can't they do it again? So yeah, overall, this is the first time visually I'm really excited to see a Bugatti, and I can't wait to hear how it sounds. I mean, just the sound of the engine is gonna be enough to make everyone love it. So yeah, that's why I think this is the best Bugatti yet.